Have you ever stared at a blank page, a new project, or even your reflection in the mirror, feeling paralyzed because it all has to be just perfect? Perhaps you've delayed learning a new skill, like painting or cooking gourmet meals, waiting for the ideal moment when everything aligns flawlessly. Or maybe you've beaten yourself up over small mistakes in your career or relationships, convinced that anything less than perfection means failure. Let me share a bold truth that might just shift your perspective today. Perfection isn't just unattainable. It's a thief that steals your joy, your time, and your potential. Chasing it keeps you stuck, while embracing progress sets you free to live a vibrant, meaningful life. In this video, we'll explore in detail why focusing on progress, not perfection, is especially powerful for those of us in our 50s and beyond. We'll uncover the reasons behind this mindset shift, backed by relatable stories and practical insights, so you can start applying it right away. Stay with me, because by the end, you'll feel empowered to take that first imperfect step toward the life you've always wanted. Let's begin with the first key reason to focus on progress rather than perfection. It liberates you from the exhausting trap of comparison. In our connected world, it's all too easy to scroll through social media or glance at others' lives and feel like you're falling short. We see the highlight reels, the perfectly curated homes, the seamless careers, the effortless fitness routines, and wonder why our own lives don't measure up. But remember, those glimpses are illusions. They hide the struggles, the failures, and the messy realities everyone faces. Perfectionism amplifies this comparison, turning it into a constant source of self-doubt and envy, which can erode your self-esteem over time. Progress, on the other hand, shifts your gaze inward to your own journey and growth, fostering a sense of personal agency and contentment. To analyze this deeper, consider how comparison often stems from societal pressures that intensify in midlife. By our 50s, we've accumulated experiences, but also expectations, perhaps from peers who've made it or from cultural narratives glorifying flawless success. This can lead to procrastination or avoidance, as the fear of not matching up paralyzes action. Breaking free requires intentional reframing. View others' achievements as inspiration, not benchmarks. Ask yourself, what small step can I take today that's better than yesterday? This inward focus builds resilience against external judgments. Consider Susan, a 55-year-old teacher from the Midwest in the U.S., whom I had the pleasure of coaching a couple of years ago. Susan had always dreamed of starting a vegetable garden in her backyard, inspired by her grandmother's lush plots from childhood. But she kept postponing it, convinced she needed the perfect setup. The best soil, premium seeds, a flawless layout plan, and even the right weather forecast. Months turned into years as she compared her potential garden to the pristine one she saw in magazines or on neighbors' lawns, feeling inadequate and discouraged. One evening, after a particularly stressful day at school, she decided enough was enough. She grabbed a few basic seed packets from the local store and planted them haphazardly in a small patch of earth. Not everything sprouted. Some plants wilted, others were nibbled by rabbits. But Susan didn't give up. Each weekend, she tweaked her approach, adding mulch here, adjusting watering there, researching simple tips online. Over time, her garden flourished in its own imperfect way, yielding fresh tomatoes and herbs that brought immense satisfaction to her meals and her soul. By focusing on progress, those small adjustments and learnings, Susan stopped comparing herself to others and started celebrating her own evolving creation. This shift not only boosted her confidence, but also spilled over into her teaching, where she encouraged her students to embrace their mistakes as stepping stones. Susan's story highlights how ditching comparison for progress can unlock creativity and joy in everyday pursuits. Moving to our second reason, focusing on progress builds unstoppable momentum through small, consistent actions. Perfection demands all-or-nothing leaps, which often lead to overwhelm and quick burnout. Progress, however, thrives on bite-sized efforts that compound over time, creating a positive feedback loop that keeps you motivated. It's like rolling a snowball down a hill. It starts small but gathers size and speed with each turn. This approach is particularly valuable as we age, when energy levels might fluctuate and life throws unexpected curveballs like health issues or family demands. Deeper analysis reveals that momentum stems from neuroplasticity. Our brains adapt through repeated actions, forming habits that make continued effort easier. In midlife, this can counteract the natural slowdown in motivation, turning aspirations into realities without exhaustive willpower. Practically, start by breaking goals into microtasks. If aiming to exercise, begin with 5 minutes, not an hour. Track wins to reinforce the cycle, using apps or journals to visualize growth. This method reduces resistance and builds intrinsic motivation. Take John, a 62-year-old retiree from Sydney, Australia, who shared his story with me during a workshop. After retiring from a demanding job in finance, John wanted to reclaim his health. He envisioned running marathons or hitting the gym like a pro athlete, but the idea of perfection intimidated him. His knees weren't what they used to be, and the thought of failing publicly kept him on the couch. Then, inspired by a friend's simple advice, he committed to just 10 minutes of walking each morning. No fancy gear, no strict routes, just stepping out the door. On rainy days, he'd pace indoors. On good days, he'd extend to 15 minutes. He tracked his progress in a small notebook, noting how he felt more alert and less stiff with each entry, which provided tangible evidence of improvement. Within a month, those walks turned into 30-minute brisk strolls, and he incorporated light stretches and even some bodyweight exercises. 6 months in, John had shed 25 pounds, lowered his blood pressure, and even joined a local walking group where he made new friends. The momentum from those initial imperfect steps propelled him forward, turning what could have been a stalled resolution into a sustainable lifestyle change. John's experience shows how progress created a chain reaction. One small win leads to another, building habits that stick for the long haul, and in his case, enhancing social connections and overall well-being. Now, let's delve into the third reason. Embracing progress helps reduce stress and prevent burnout, allowing you to navigate life's demand with greater ease and resilience. Perfectionism is a relentless taskmaster, constantly whispering that you're not doing enough or that one slip-up ruins everything. This mindset spikes cortisol levels, leading to anxiety, sleepless nights, and even physical ailments like headaches or fatigue. In contrast, a progress-oriented approach fosters self-compassion, recognizing that setbacks are normal and valuable teachers. It encourages rest when needed and views effort as worthy in itself, not just the end result. Analyzing further, perfectionism often links to early conditioning, perhaps from high-achieving environments, creating chronic stress patterns. Progress counters this by promoting mindfulness and flexibility, key for midlife transitions like empty nesting or career shifts. To implement practice self-talk, replace "I must be perfect" with "I'm improving daily." Incorporate breaks and reflection to recharge, preventing exhaustion. Meet Elena, a 57-year-old business owner from London, UK, whose story illustrates this beautifully. Elena ran a small boutique shop and prided herself on perfection. Every display immaculate, every customer interaction flawless. But this pursuit left her exhausted, snapping at her staff and dreading Mondays. During a particularly hectic holiday season, she hit a wall. Orders were delayed, and she couldn't keep up. Instead of pushing harder, Elena decided to try a new tack. She started focusing on daily progress, one task at a time, like reorganizing a single shelf or following up on just 3 customer inquiries. She allowed for good enough days, forgiving herself when things weren't ideal. To build resilience, she incorporated short breaks for tea and reflection, journaling what went well each evening, which helped her identify patterns and adjust without self-criticism. Over the next year, her stress levels plummeted, her shop's efficiency improved through incremental tweaks, and she even expanded her inventory without overwhelm. Elena's shift from perfection to progress not only saved her business, but also reignited her passion for it, proving that sustainable energy comes from kindness to oneself amid the journey. This change also improved her relationships, as she became more patient and present. Our fourth reason ties it all together. Progress leads to sustainable, long-term success that perfection rarely achieves. Perfection chases quick fixes or overnight transformations, which often fizzle out. Progress, however, is about layering improvements over time, creating deep-rooted changes that endure. This is crucial in midlife when we're building legacies, whether in our careers, families, or personal pursuits, and want results that last. Deeper examination shows that sustainable success relies on adaptability. Progress encourages experimentation and learning from failures, fostering innovation. Perfection, by contrast, stifles creativity through fear of error. Strategically, set smart goals focused on process, not outcome. Review progress quarterly to celebrate and pivot, ensuring alignment with evolving priorities. Think of Robert, a 60-year-old engineer from California, U.S., who aspired to write a book on sustainable energy after decades in the field. Perfection paralyzed him. He wanted every chapter to be groundbreaking, every sentence polished. Drafts piled up, unfinished and discarded. Frustrated, Robert adopted a progress mindset, committing to writing 300 words daily, no matter how rough. He treated revisions as iterative steps, seeking feedback from peers along the way. Some days the words flowed, others they stumbled. But consistency paid off. After 18 months, his book was published not as a flawless tome, but as a valuable contribution that sparked discussions in his industry. Robert's success wasn't a sprint to perfection, but a marathon of progress, resulting in not just a book, but ongoing speaking engagements and a sense of accomplishment that perfection could never deliver. His work even influenced younger colleagues, creating a ripple effect of knowledge sharing. Finally, a fifth reason to emphasize: progress nurtures self-compassion and emotional well-being, essential for a joyful life. Perfection breeds self-criticism, leading to feelings of inadequacy. Progress invites kindness, acknowledging your humanity. In analysis, this ties to positive psychology. Self-compassion boosts happiness and reduces depression risks in older adults. Practice by treating yourself as you'd a dear friend during setbacks. For example, Marie, a 59-year-old artist from Melbourne, Australia, struggled with perfection in her paintings, discarding canvases midway. Shifting to progress, she painted daily, embracing flaws as style. This led to exhibitions and inner peace, showing how compassion transforms passion. As we wrap up this exploration, take a deep breath and let these ideas settle in your heart. Reflect quietly. Where in your life have you been chasing perfection, and how might shifting to progress change that? Perhaps it's in your health, your relationships, or a long-held dream. Remember, every great achievement starts with an imperfect beginning, and your progress today shapes a brighter tomorrow. I'd love for you to share in the comments what stood out to you most, or what's one area you'll apply this mindset to. Your stories inspire us all. If this video has moved you, please give a like. Subscribe to our channel for more gentle wisdom and motivation, and share it with a friend or family member who could use this encouragement. Together, we're all works in progress, and that's what makes life truly beautiful. Thank you for joining me. Keep stepping forward, one day at a time.